Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Penny's Reading Nook. Today I have, I believe, probably my favorite Halloween book. It's called The Magic Pumpkin. It is written by Lucille E. Sette, pictures by Phyllis L.Tildes. I hope you enjoy this book. No one in Dayfield liked old Mr. Squiggs. He was grumpy, he was grouchy, he was nasty, he was mean. What's more, Mr. Squiggs didn't like anyone in Dayfield. He didn't like children, they were too happy. He didn't like animals, they were too noisy. And he didn't like grown-ups, they were too nosy. But Mr. Squiggs did like two things. He liked to be left alone, and he liked Halloween. Every Halloween, Mr. Squiggs would buy a lumpy, bumpy pumpkin. He carved an ugly, scary face on it. Then, carefully, very carefully, Mr. Squiggs would put the pumpkin on the front porch of his house and light it. Then Mr. Squiggs would hide in his house without making a sound. He would wait for the children to walk past his house. Mr. Squiggs waited to hear the children scream. And Mr. Squiggs was never disappointed. Every Halloween, his pumpkin would be scarier than ever before. And every Halloween, the children would scream louder than ever before at the frightful sight. That's what happened every Halloween until one special Halloween and one very special pumpkin. Mr. Squiggs had found that pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. He had gone there late in the day. All the beautiful round orange pumpkins had been sold. The rest lay sadly on the ground. Mr. Squiggs walked around and then he spotted it. It was the perfect pumpkin for him. It was lumpy, it was bumpy, it was ugly and somewhat green. It was even covered with grimy gray dust. "That's stardust on that pumpkin," said the man at the pumpkin patch. "I hear it makes magical things happen." "Huh," snorted Mr. Squiggs. "I don't believe in magic and you shouldn't either." Mr. Squiggs bought that pumpkin and carried it home. He took out his crooked knife and started carving. When he had finished, he stood back and looked at the pumpkin face. It was dreadful. It was scary. It was frightening. It was mean. Mr. Squiggs put the pumpkin on the front porch of his house. He put a candle in it and lit it. He raced inside and hid behind the curtains. Then he waited. But the pumpkin wasn't waiting. It was too busy. It puffed up its mouth, it wiggled its ears, it blinked its eyes, and then the magic began. Slowly, very slowly, the pumpkin's face began to change. Its eyes grew round and friendly, its nose started twitching, its mouth turned up in a smile, and soon groups of children gathered around the pumpkin. The children smiled. The pumpkin smiled back. The children giggled. The pumpkin twitched. The children laughed. The pumpkin winked. "What's going on?" growled Mr. Squiggs. "Why is everyone so happy?" Mr. Squiggs stamped his foot and came out of his house. He pushed the children aside. And then the real magic happened. The pumpkin winked at Mr. Squiggs. His eyes opened wide, the corners of his mouth started turning up, and soon, very soon, Mr. Squiggs was wearing a smile. His smile was even happier and brighter than the smile on the pumpkin, and smiling made Mr. Squiggs feel good all over. "Happy Halloween!" he shouted. Happy Halloween to everyone!" Now, everyone in Dayfield likes old Mr. Squiggs. He is happy, He is jolly, he is merry, and never mean. What's more, Mr. Squiggs really likes everyone in Dayfield. He likes children, he laughs with them. He likes grown-ups, he talks with them. He likes animals, he plays with them. Every Halloween, Mr. Squiggs has a big party. All the children are invited. Mr. Squiggs carves a friendly face on a big round pumpkin. He always has the best pumpkin in town. He should. He grows them himself with the seeds from the magic pumpkin. The end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.